special day for me. I'm going to do a pre-match review of the Liverpool versus Leeds, our first ever game in Premier League. And I have a very special guest today who's going to join me in reviewing this match. This is a Leeds United diehard fan. Let me introduce to you Arvind Sidhu here. Arvind, tell me about your Leeds United fandom.
Oh, it's been a journey now. I mean, of course, the journey back to the Premier League took 16 years for us, which is what everyone is talking about as we start this weekend, a big weekend back. But in terms of my journey being a Leeds supporter, I've been supporting them since I was about 7. So we're looking at probably about 29, 30 years now. So I've been a fan for close to 3 decades.
That's pretty long.
I've seen us do really well with winning the old First Division, the last First Division title.
Yes.
Doing relatively well with the Premier League. Then, of course, the tough times that we had going down all the way to League One. And now really the Renaissance club being back in the Premier League. So in all, the journey about 29 to 30 years.
Great, that's great. I remember because I've been supporting Liverpool since '86, and of course my father was a diehard Liverpool fan, and he just continued telling me all the good things about Liverpool, and you continue supporting them. But one thing he told me back then that Leeds United is a fantastic team, and back in the '60s and '70s, they are one of the top teams, and they had some fantastic players and manager as well. I remember you were always telling me about the 1975 European Cup final where you all lost, and you say it was a game that Leeds should have won, and he keeps telling me that they are a big club. And I was lucky enough to see Gordon Strachan winning the league together with Eric Cantona at the time. It was I remember watching that moment. That was like fantastic. Then, of course, we know the tragedy. Cantona went to Manchester United. Till today, I don't understand why, but it happens, I guess. And after that, we saw fantastic performance from David O'Leary came in. He changed the entire Leeds United team. I saw them playing in Champions League, and we, being a Liverpool fan, really was envy of that. But they were really good. I mean, I saw the game in Ellen Road. I think it was against Barcelona. It was just fantastic. The team just played well. Just unfortunately, I think the financial part took a little bit on the club, and it went down. And it took a while. But I'm happy they're back because Marcelo Bielsa is a fantastic coach. We know him very well during his time with Argentina and Athletic Bilbao as well. And I've seen him come up with this very interesting way Leeds United play with their formation, which is the 3-1-3-3. Right? That's the way they attack the team. And of course, ever since Leeds won the league, we all been watching what this Leeds United is all about. I went on to see their games, their highlight, their goal. My goodness, the way you guys attack, it's just incredible. From nowhere, I see your defender goes into wing back. Like Dallas comes all the way on top to score goal. And then, of course, you have Calvin Phillips is like the modern day Makelele kind of thing, sitting at the defense, trying to organize balls left and right. It's mind blowing. I think it's a great addition to Premier League. I really hope you guys can go far. And what was the aspiration for this? Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, the Leeds fans get a lot of questions asked about, like you said, the aspirations for this season. We've spent a bit of money. We haven't spent a lot of money in the last couple of years. The owner, Andrea Razziani, has run the club really well. Really well. He deserves a lot of credit for a lot of work that has gone into the club, the youth system, the development of the stands around the stadium, and of course bringing in Marcelo Bielsa. But since we've got promoted, we've spent quite a bit of money. We've broken our transfer record once already. And there's talk that they might break it a second time. But the aspirations, and that's an interesting question because Leeds fans get asked that question a lot now. And of course, we look at last season, you see the likes of Sheffield United, who barely spent any money, who were in the top 10. And then you had Aston Villa, who spent 100 million and survived on the last day of the season. So,
correct, yes.
My view as a Leeds fan is being out of the league for so long, for 16 years, the first obvious target is they have to survive. Anything from 17 and above is an achievement. That's the first target. But because
Mm.
Andrea and Marcelo are really, really ambitious people in the project, I would imagine
Mm.
that they would be striving for at least a standing of between 10 or 14. So somewhere
Okay.
close to the top 10. But the Premier
Mm.
League, Ajay, is a brutal league. I've seen teams come up which you never thought would go down, and they would go down. So for me as a Leeds fan, survival first, but I would imagine the target is probably about 10 to 14 to finish the season.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, they are both are very ambitious, but I'm sure they have plans. Because the way they have bought players in is pretty much to suit the way you guys play. But I think it's a big loss on Ben White. I know you have gone back to Burnley. I saw
Brighton,
him playing against Chelsea that day.
yeah.
Is there any plan of purchasing him back? Because he was like a Rolls Royce, managing the defense so well last season.
Yeah, so the story of Ben White is before Ben White, we had Pontus Jansson. So Pontus Jansson is a Swedish international. He's a very good defender,
Yeah.
but him and Bielsa didn't really agree with the way certain things are run. So Bielsa sold him off, and we took Ben White
Mm-hmm.
as an unknown from Brighton, actually, a total unknown. No one had
Oh yeah, Brighton. Yeah, yeah,
no one
yeah,
had heard much about Ben White, but when he came in,
yeah.
you're right. A Rolls-Royce defender is the definition of Ben White. Very modern, can bring the ball from the back. But unfortunately, Brighton just have refused. Leeds have made 3 bids for
Mm-hmm.
him, 18, 22.5, 25 million, 3 bids.
Yeah.
Brighton have said
Uh-huh.
no. Their reason is they will be strengthening a further rival around their part. And I can see where they're coming from. Don't get me wrong. I can see where they're coming from.
Mm.
But
Yeah. Mm.
unfortunately, we haven't been able to get Ben White, but the club has moved on from that. And we've purchased a German
Mm.
international in Robin Koch. So Robin Koch has come
Yeah.
in from
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
from
Mm.
Freiburg, and he's class as well. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
not too concerned about that, but it's a missed opportunity with Ben White for sure.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. As you said, it's a very brutal league, and you need to have the best defense. Of course, the best form of defense they say is attack, and I think you guys have a really good and got a very good striker as well. And I want to talk a little bit about your last season's top striker, Patrick Bamford. He's got 16 goals. So is he ready for the Premier League?
So Patrick Bamford divides a lot of opinion among Leeds fans. He is someone who,
Yeah.
the good thing about Patrick Bamford is he will run his socks off. He will run and run and run and run. He and you can
Mm.
tell that he's one of Bielsa's favorites because Bielsa will always start him. Our last 2 preseason
Yeah.
friendlies, he has started him also, and he is particularly one of the first names on the sheet. The only challenge that Bamford
Okay.
is the conversion rate isn't great. He out of 3 or
Mm-hmm.
4 chances, he might put away 1. Some days he doesn't.
Okay.
So Bamford is a frustrating player in that sense, but I can see why Bielsa likes him because he makes that system work for Leeds. So
Mm.
while
Yeah.
we've purchased Rodrigo, which is very exciting for Leeds, but Bielsa will start with Bamford for the season. There is no shadow of a doubt Bamford will be there. Uh,
Yeah.
Bamford's gotten better as the season went on, but the amount of chances
Okay.
we created last season, he should have put in a little bit more than 16. But I think he'll give it a good shot in the Premier League. He'll get his fair number of goals.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. I mean, some players really do well once they come to the Premier League.
Yeah.
Then, of course, your playmaker, Pablo Hernandez. I think, yes, he's maturing, but of course, he's a key player for you guys. He plays this playmaker role. It's like a free role, you can do anything you like. But he's getting old.
Yeah.
Should not say old. I'm getting old either. Getting more matured, I guess. So how is he going to coming into the Premier League? Do they have like a replacement player for him?
So Pablo is one of the main reasons we got promoted last season. The man is he's called El Mago in Leeds fans because being the magician. Yeah, ex Valencia boy. He is someone who really makes the team tick. Some of his passes, no one in that Leeds squad can do it. But you're right. He's 35 going in on 36. Bielsa has managed his minutes really well. So after the COVID lockdowns ended and teams were able to come back into playing competitive football, Pablo a lot of times found himself on the bench because what Bielsa will do is he will tire teams out for 60 to 65 minutes, and then he'll bring on Pablo, and then Pablo will unlock the defense that needs to be done, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the priorities for Leeds has been in this transfer window is to find someone as an understudy to Pablo Hernandez. And one of the names they've been looking at is Rodrigo de Paul. So Rodrigo de Paul is an Argentinian international from Udinese, really good player, one of the best in creating chances in Serie A last season. I know the club is in talks to try and get that deal across the line, but I would imagine Leeds will make one or two more transfers. One of them will definitely be an understudy or someone to help Pablo with the workload that he has to manage. Because at 35, 36 in the Premier League, it's tough. He's not going to start more than 20, 25 games. It's very hard. So, yeah.
Yeah. He reminds me of Gary Mac at his old age. He was still creating many chances, Gary McAllister. Yeah,
Yes.
so it could be another nostalgic season as well for him.
Yes.
Right. So how are you looking for this weekend's game against it's champion versus champion? Yeah, it is still a champion. It's considered. Last season we had Man City versus Liverpool in the League Cup. This season we had Arsenal, but I felt that this Leeds game is even more important for us because one reason why is Marcelo Bielsa is an international coach and he has a lot of experience and he have brought in his flavor into Leeds as well, the way you guys play. So where do you look this game will go to this week?
Oh, so when the fixtures were announced, we were given literally the toughest game away from home that we could have been given, right? But then on the flip side of it, we played Arsenal last season in the FA Cup at the Emirates, and we really took it to them in the first half. We really took it to them. We had shots that hit the bar. We outplayed Arsenal in the first half. Yes, granted, the quality of the Arsenal squad came through in the second half and they got through, which is fine because for Leeds, the promotion was key. The FA Cup was sort of like a nice distraction to have, right?
Yeah.
Leeds will enjoy being back on the big stage. They will enjoy going to Anfield. They will on the first game back. They will. But I have to keep in mind that this is a Liverpool team that has lost one home game in probably 3 years. Their home record is absolutely impeccable. So it's a tough place to go. But I'm looking forward to it, and I'm sure the boys are looking forward to it as well. My view is that it will end up as a draw. I think we'll manage to score one at least, and it'll end up as a draw. But we will give a good account for ourselves. But it's gonna be a tough one, that's for sure.
Yes. I've been talking around a lot of Liverpool fans, a bit elderly fans. The young fans don't seem to understand. They feel that it's going to be a roller coaster. In fact, I've been checking into the some of the fan channels as well. This game really gives us a scare because we'll never forget what Leeds did to us a few seasons ago, and I remember, the games where Hasselbank came in and scored a couple of goals. I think it was a 3-1 score, if I'm not mistaken. That was one game. That was the same game. Alan Smith also played his, I think his debut, if I'm not mistaken. Then the games where Viduka scored for, I think that was Ellen Road, if I'm not mistaken. A few other games, a few other games which are always just been tough. So although they've been, from the past and they have done success, but Liverpool is a historical club. We look into history and we were like saying we were the greatest, not even winning the league for the last 30 years. So we know what history means and we know where Leeds is in the English league and also in European football. It's going to be a tough game for us. And with Jurgen Klopp, like him, we are all very much take all our clubs, respect them a lot. We saw in Sheffield United last season, I think Chris Wilder built a brilliant squad there. We had a tough game against them as well. So we expect the same as well. Especially it's going to be the first game of the season. Expectation could be high and anything could go wrong. So we are looking forward, but nevertheless, I think the big challenge will be the Allen Road game. I think by then Leeds would have found out what Premier League is all about, what need to do, and they will be prepared there. So that's where I think this week game goes. I'm not being a biased Liverpool fan, but I still think Liverpool will win, but it's still going to be a tough game.
Yeah, no. I mean, I think you're coming from a very reasonable point of view. Majority of our games with the big clubs are in the second half of the season. So we play United in April next year. We play Liverpool at
Mm,
home away at home next year as well. So Leeds will be given a chance to kind of acclimatize and get used to it. We've got
mm,
I would say a mixed start. We've got Liverpool away. Then we welcome Fulham at home. We played them in the Championship last season. Then we've got to go away to Sheffield United. Then we've got Man City as well.
yeah.
So we've got we've
Man
got
City,
we've got
yeah.
quite a challenging start. But I feel that Bielsa and the boys will relish this. They will really relish the opportunity to compete against the big boys and see how far the club is gone. Um,
Mm,
but again, the Premier League, like you said, is brutal. It's unpredictable. Anything can happen on the day itself.
mhm.
I feel the one thing that might work in Leeds' favor this weekend is Liverpool are so dependent on the Anfield crowd. Missing the fans will hurt any team. Naturally, it will. But because
Yeah.
the raw of Anfield is so strong, I feel that Liverpool at times the 12 men really helps Liverpool because the fans are so
Mm,
crazily passionate about it. So not having
yeah.
fans at Anfield could slightly work in Leeds' favor. So let's hope
It
let's
could.
see how
It
that
could.
goes.
Yeah, it could. It really could. But you guys have some easy games after this. I think you'll play against Hull in Carabao Cup, and then Fulham, of course, a team you all know very well.
Yeah,
Before the Sheffield United and City game, of
yeah,
course.
yeah.
But I think it's going to be great having Leeds back in the Premier League. So we really look forward for them. So tell me about Leeds United in Malaysia. How is it? Do we have a big club here? What's the following like? You've been with Leeds United following for quite long. So how is it here in Malaysia?
Yeah, it's been really good. I mean, the fan club in itself has been around since 2007, 2008. So we've got an official fan club in Malaysia. The club
Okay.
right now, obviously, with Leeds being back in the Premier League, has created a lot of buzz. We're getting a lot of people that are wanting to be part of the fan club. We welcome people that
Yeah.
want to
Yeah.
join, but we really value the fans who are genuine Leeds fans, who are new Leeds fans, it's okay as well. But surprisingly, we have
Hmm.
some people who, when we look at their profiles, they wear Chelsea shirts and they wear United shirts. So we kind of ask that question, why Leeds, right? Why are you coming and joining us now? In terms of the actual fan base in itself, the group has got probably about 180 members online.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's good.
but
Yeah.
we, in terms of an active number of participants, we typically get about 30 to 35. And this is a mixture of young fans, elderly fans. We've got quite a few expats from England that are working here that come to our games as well. So we actually
Yeah.
had
Yeah.
a screening in Tamantun in
Okay.
at the end of last season when we played Derby away. It was just again
Okay.
an opportunity for us to get together, and it was really nice because
Ah.
we had about 30 or 35 people. The new season has started off. We're getting our new polo shirts, Leeds United official Malaysia Supporters Club polo shirts.
Yeah.
We got that ready.
Hmm.
We are in contact with the clubs in the UK where we are contributing a certain fund to be an official affiliate of Leeds United UK as well. So things are really moving really well. Our Instagram is up, our Facebook is up. So things are moving really much right now. And naturally, it has come
Hmm.
because we have been promoted, of course. And we get
Yeah.
more coverage on the likes of Astro and the newspapers. Finally, for a chance, Leeds
Hmm.
fans don't have to go online and find the stream. We can actually watch it on TV, right? So, so in that sense, it's a really nice feeling to start the new season of how things are going this way. But the fan base in Malaysia is is
Good.
a passionate fan base. You will find some very knowledgeable Leeds fans.
Yes, yes, they do, and I'm sure that the club will expand. I think yes, and it's quite sad that as you said, that we're having new fans, but it's not too late. I think if you guys continue playing the game the way you all play, the formation, I'm sure that you will do well in Premier League. So from the way I look at it, like what you said, if they can sustain a 13 or 14 spot this season, I think they can attract more players next season,
Yeah,
and from there we could do especially with his Bielsa's experience and all that. I think he can attract good players there, and not only that. Cup competition. Last season, yes, like what you said, FA Cup was just a good distraction. But what about this season? I mean, you have most of these clubs will concentrate on their League Cup and also their FA Cup. I know Aston Villa did that last season. Was a good run for them. Probably that helped them towards the end in terms of the confidence and all that.
Yeah.
So, do they have any aspiration on the cup competition?
So the thing is with Bielsa is that he relies on a very small squad. He's always operated in a manner that he doesn't like a very inflated squad. He likes to run a very tight ship. The thing with Bielsa is if you look at his track record of the clubs that he has managed before, Atletico Bilbao, Marseille, he was in Lazio for only 2 days. Lille. He's not a manager who
Lille, yeah.
He's not a manager who stays very long. But I feel that with Leeds he has got a certain level of comfort. He likes the town, he likes the people, he likes the owners. If you ask me before the season started, could Leeds attract Rodrigo before the Premier League kicked off? I would say no, because Valencia has had problems, but it was still a top 10 team in La Liga. They've been in Europe a couple of years ago. They're still a quality side. So to ask me, could Leeds have attracted Rodrigo? I didn't think we could, but we did. Funnily enough, Rodrigo was our transfer record, and the last transfer record that we broke was close to 20 years ago when we close to 15 to 16 years ago when we signed Rio Ferdinand from West Ham. So that's how long.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So that's how long it's been since we spent some good money. The club, the Bielsa will give the cups the respect. He always sends out a strong team, but at the end of the day, he knows that the survival is going to be number one. But like you said, the cups can be a nice distraction, and we've got a good bunch of youngsters that are playing really well with the under-23s as well. Could bring a couple of youngsters. So it will be good. I just think Bielsa will enjoy his time back in the Premier League. But Leeds fans have to realize that he's not a man who stays for a very long time. But modern football, managers don't stay long anymore. So tops you get is 4 seasons.
Yeah.
So we just have to enjoy every moment that we have of him right now.
Yes, true enough. Lastly, I just want to ask, in your view, your prediction for this year's Premier League. Who you think will probably win and probably will be relegated?
So for me, winning the Premier League season after season is incredibly hard. If you look at the last 10 years, the only team that was able to do it was Man City. I mean, United did it with Ferguson back before 2007, 2008, 2009. But winning the Premier League back on back is incredibly difficult. So in my view, what I feel will happen is I feel Pep will come back very strong. I think Guardiola is a man who doesn't like to come second. So in my view, Pep will probably just clinch the Premier League title. Liverpool will run them very close. Chelsea, obviously, everyone's very excited with the signings, but it's a matter of how do you gel on the signings. So for me, City to win it, Liverpool and Chelsea to run them close. Relegation is an interesting one. I think West Brom will go down. Out of the promoted teams, I fear for West Brom. I fear for Fulham a little bit. And from last season, I think Villa got away very, very lucky. So I predict Villa to be down. At least Villa and West Brom to be down to go down next season.
Okay, so the 2 clubs from Birmingham. Now, could happen. It could happen. It's still early yet. We have not kicked the ball yet.
Take a look out for take a look out for Brighton as well. Then we can get Ben White when they get relegated.
Yes.
Sell him to us as well.
Yeah, probably you can get it in January, so it's just nice for you guys as well. All right. Great talking to you, Arvind. I think it's been excellent. I really wanted a view from a fan, and I was so happy. And Sid actually introduced me to you, and I'm so glad I did this. Thank you so much, and good luck for your club. And we hope we can see you again, maybe for the next game, maybe Leeds versus Liverpool, or maybe any other game. I could just we could have just a friendly chat to see where the English Premier League is bringing us. Right. So thank you, anyways. Anything you want to say finally, Arvind?
No, it's just good to be back. Thanks for having me. It's been a fun session to just talk about and build the anticipation for the big weekend's kickoff. Just my message to all Leeds fans is marching on together. Let's enjoy the season. Try not to be too hard on the team. Leeds fans have a tendency that they can be a bit hard on the team. Let's appreciate what we've done so far. And yeah, all the best to every other club out there. It's going to be a really exciting season. Hopefully, fans can start coming back to games, because without fans, football is just not the same.
Yes, that's true. So we'll just enjoy watching it from here, from Malaysia, and I will see how it goes. All right. Thank you so much, Arvind. And for everybody else, thank you for watching my channel.